Okay, let's start sharing my screen. So the question that I'm going to discuss with you is the second question, second case, and second only case that left in your course pack, which is Barretson Island. Now, every time when you see something like this in the format, think about it about when you're writing the cases and how people are writing the case. So you can use whatever you see so you can implement it in your writing work. But let's focus on this case first. So what's happened is this case is about this time-driven activity-based costing, which was implemented somewhere. Somebody heard of it. He wants to uh, try it and see if that's going to help the company that they're working. So this time-driven activity-based costing was created by this person. So later on, therefore, decided to build a business case to illustrate this one as this model. After reporting the calculation, analyzing, and of the obtained figure, we can start a new insights about gaining understanding about the earnings before income, before interest and taxes. That's the whole thing. What we can see here and how we can use this time-driven activity-based costing in the future. Now watch this, watch how the case starts. That you should have started your case and how you should start the cases in the future. So first, introduction, introducing the company. So the Barretson Island located in Reykjavik, Iceland, provided professional clean, repair, and quality check textiles to company that outsource their workwear services. The outsourcing textile management has significant advantage, including the saving cost, free up time, space, staff capital, allowing the customer to focus on the core business. As you can see in the very first, when you start the case, first you're giving some ideas about the company. A little bit background on the company, what's their business, what they're doing, you can even go with when the company was created, anything about the company, which just to introduce. Now, after that, if we have to do the situation analysis, because always remember when you're presenting the case, first showing what is it, what's the current situation here, what's the company, what's happening in the company at the moment. So if you have to translate everything to your case that you have to write, that's why you have to start with a little introduction about the company, then going with the mission and vision of the company, then telling the people, hey, this company, this business is this, but the company wants this. So basically, you're outlining the company's objectives. Is it going to be shareholders' objective? Is it going to be owner's objective? Is it going to be company itself objectives? At least we want to know on which direction this company going. What's the important for this company? Because obviously later on when we're assessing the problems, we have to keep in mind those objectives in order to choose the right decision. Always keep that in mind. You have to align everything in the right direction. So first you get in the background of the company, then you outline a mission and vision, then going with the company objectives. Then you're going to the SWOT analysis, the one that you're supposed to do on the assignment. And on the SWOT analysis, basically you're telling the people, this company currently have those are the strengths of the company, those are the weaknesses of the company at this moment. Going forward, the company can face those opportunities, those are the threats for the company going forward. And now, once you have those analysis, you're going with the current financial situation of the company, comparing the company to giving them a little bit background of the company in terms of trends, in terms of something that you can find, comparison with the company itself, choosing 2 to 3 key ratios, and talking about those ratios, analyzing how the company performed by itself, how company performed by the outsiders, and in the industry, and making conclusion about the company itself. Why do we have to do this? Because that set up the scene, what's going to happen next. It's always like that. Even in this case, what you can see in the beginning, they're introducing the company. Then next thing that they're talking about is the working cycle of the company. So in this company, let's see what's happening here. The workwear service cycle is shown in Exhibit 1. Now the better channel collect the workwear at the company premises and then perform specialized washing and handling process. Afterward, the ready-to-use workwear was returned to the customer. So they going to the customer, picking the stuff, washing, of holding whatever they have to do, and then we bring it back to the customer. In 2014, now we're starting with again with this, we still in the process of the current situation. Company reported loss-making figures. Textile depreciation was seen as direct cost because depreciation was directly linked to the cost object, which in this case is the customers. So what drives the cost in this company? We can see the cost is driven by the customers. We have a cost because of the customer. So technically, all the operations driven by the customer. We generating income because of the customers. Customers driving the cost, the company driving the income. Now, where we can see those figures, again, we have to scroll down and see all the exhibits. The first exhibits explain this process of the company, picking the workwear, driving them, doing what they have to do, driving them back to the customer. Now, for the purpose of this case, ignore this euro sign. Pretend it's Canadian dollar. Now, you don't have to do any conversion, anything like that. The point here is not of the foreign exchange. The point here is something else. This exercise is not about you to translate the foreign exchange the income statement into the Canadian dollars. So just keep the same numbers, ignore the euro sign, change it with Canadian dollars. That's all. So let's see what's next here for the background information and explanation. The company Bertzen Island product portfolio consists of 6 garment types, each of its own characteristics, which we're going to see later, and the company serves 8 customers. Plant manager Olafur Saitorsson uses the standard cost model to obtain yearly figures on the profitability of those customers. So what he's doing for the costing purposes, he's using a standard costing model. Okay, so once we know what kind of model they're using, now let's see how this model works. In the standard costing model, the production and distribution costs, so we now have to chase production and distribution. Cost are allocated according to the piece process. So all those costs are allocated based on the piece, process piece. Sales administrative expenses are not allocated. In other words, they treat it as a common cost for the company, but are included at the end of the costing process. So let's see how this works. If you scroll down now, we're going to see the revenue. Okay, the revenue is coming. Then we have depreciation, which is assigned to the customer. Product cost. Now we have the product cost, production cost, and the distribution cost. Those are the 2 main costs here. Sales administrative expenses, we said that's a common cost for the company. They're dealing with the 6 type of garments. Each garment has unique characteristics in terms of kilograms and in terms of folding time per second. Also, we're dealing with those 8 customers, and those 8 customers have the number of the units which drive the cost. This is the number that drives the cost. Which cost they're driving? They're driving the production cost and distribution cost. So, as you can see, the total number that they serviced in 2014 was 412,800 units. though because of that units, they have that production cost. So if you want to see the cost per product, what we have to do, production cost divided by number of units, and we can see how much they're applying for every single product to get the production cost for that particular client. Second one is the distribution, same idea, getting the total distribution cost divided by the number of the total units, and that's how they are assigning the cost. So as you can see here, of all those 8 clients, we have one client that's losing money, $13,443. Now they're thinking that if we eliminate this client, our problem is solved. I would say it's not solved because we're still going to lose 2,500, but they're thinking that they're going to solve the problem. So now what's the interesting with these clients? Every client has a different characteristics, and those characteristics are listed here. Now, based on the garments that these clients wants to be service, they have different items. Now, the first one, for example, there's a 48,000 units. In those 48,000 units, it comprises of 12,000 of t-shirts, 24 pants, and 24 sweaters. Now, the next one has 60,000 units, but those are all jackets. Now, what we can see here is that the units for different clients are different. Some clients may have one unit, some clients may not have that units. What's unique with those units? The units have different characteristics. So now the question is, if we're assigning the cost per unit, is it fair to assign the same cost for t-shirt and the jacket at the same time? That's what the thing is. Since we have in mind the jacket is the heavier than the t-shirt and taking more folding time than the t-shirt. But that's what they're trying to figure out, and that's why we're trying to help them to realize. Let's keep going with our information about the company. So Exhibit 4 indicates that customer Odson, as we already saw, reported loss-making contribution. Citerson concluded that this customer was the cause of the loss-making figures in 2014. But before he would exclude this customer, Citerson consulted with Brandis Jones-Dottir, the business controller and administrator. Jones-Dottir was not in favor to excluding Odson based on the standard costing system. Instead, he proposed to use time-driven activity-based costing model. Citerson agreed with Jones-Dottir proposal and put him in charge of a pilot project to develop a time-driven activity-based cost model. Jones-Dottir started gathering the necessary information, for he analyzed the resources and activities and production department and distribution department. So, in short, they want to replace and see what will be the number. They already have the standard costing, applying the cost based on the unit. For the production and distribution, what will be the cost for the same departments if we using activity-based costing? If you still remember activity-based costing, in order to do this activity-based costing, first we have to do is to find the activities. Once we find the activities, then we're going to assign the cost, the cost, total cost for that activity. Then we're going to see how many time we're using that activities, and we're going to come up with the cost for that activity. That's a general idea with the time with the activity-based costing. So now let's see how we're going to do this activity-based costing in this particular case, so we can help these people. Again, see yourself as you are the Jones-Dottir, and you're the one who has to do this. So he prepares some information for us. We have to use this information and start the calculation to see where we are. Objective here is to see what's our resource, Or let's go a different way. Let's see what kind of activity we have. What's the resource that we're using for those activity, and how much of this resource we have available. Now, we're going to start from the back, and we're going to start first seeing what's the our resource that we have available. Now, the resource that we have available is workers. Production department. In production department, 5 people are employed. 4 working full-time, and 1 works 60% of the full-time equivalent position. Each year, we have 20 working days a month, times 12, that will be give you 1 year. Employee work 8 hours per day, including 30 minutes break, so you have to take out the 30 minutes break, and there's an idle time of 10%, which also has to be deducted. So what you're trying to find out is, what's the resource that these people can give you? For what? To deal with your customers. Now we have to see how much resource of the resource that we have available to our employee, our 8 customers need to satisfy their needs. Now we have to find first what kind of activity we have in the department. In the department, they divided the production department into 2. One department is washing, one process is washing, and the other one is folding. Those are the 2 processes that's happening in production department. Washing process consists in 2 activities. Which one are those activities? Sorting and loading. Sorting is the first one, and loading and uploading. And uploading is the second one. So we have those 2 activities available for us under the washing department, washing process in the production department. So now let's see which are the activity under the second process, which is folding. The repairing, first now we have repairing. Then we have folding. And the last one is the packing. And those are the activity that are done on the folding, under the folding. So now what we have to see is, sorry, I went too far. Let's go back to the case. Mostly for this one, repairing the washing process. So repairing, folding were done on the folding table. Now, let's see what's the resources that each of those activities is using. First, sorting. First activity in the washing process. Sorting the sewed garment took 2 seconds per piece. So a resource that we need is 2 seconds. And that resource is driven by the pieces that each customer give us. Some customer will know that the frequently leave item in the pocket, such as pens and screwdrivers. Garments of those customers were checked truly, resulting 8 additional seconds per piece, regardless of the garment type. So basically, if they have something in their pockets, we need additional 8 seconds per piece. That's for the first activity. Second activity, let's see the second activity. Loading and unloading the washing machine and dryers was related to the 8 garment types and took 7 seconds per kilogram. So now here the resource is 7 seconds. What drives the consumption? First, we're driving the garment type, kilogram per garment type, and the number of the types. that we have under each, so in order to get the total kilograms. Then we're going with the folding process. Folding process have the following activity. First, we have repairing. Repairing garment took an average 3 minutes. So we have repair. The driver is the resource that we're using is 3 minutes. The driver is repairing. Folding the garment, second activity, and this process is the folding the garment was heavy time consuming. Time measurement reviewed different folding times for the garment types. So we have to see on the folding what's the type under each garment. And based on the number of units that particular garment, we can calculate the resource that we need to perform this activity. Last activity is packing the clean garment. Took minimum of 3 seconds per piece. So we have 3 seconds per piece. If the customer requires locker sorting, 5 additional seconds per piece were needed. Customer might also want their garment to be individually packed in the plastic bag. If that's happened, then it's additional 10 seconds per piece. So we have here 3 plus 5 plus additional 10. Obviously 5 and 10 are optional. 3 apply for everything, 5 and 10 are optional. And that's what we have. So, in short, from the first paragraph, you're going to get the resource that you have available in terms of time. Then you're going to have from those activities, based on all those activities that every each customer needs, you have to find out how much time you need only for the production department to service all those activities for all those customers. So you have the activities, you have the information, you have the drivers, you have the garments, you have the weight per garment, you have the folding time, you have everything, a number of the units of each garment which each customer is using. You have that one. You have the information about if we have the items in the pockets, shall we add additional 8 seconds? Yes. How many clients we have for item in the pockets? Only 2. That will apply to them. We have the repairs, number of the repairs for each client. Some clients don't have the repairs, some have the repairs. We have the locker sorting, which clients use the locker sorting for the additional 5 seconds, sorry. We have the bags, which client wants individual plastic bag. So we have all the information that you need in order you to come up with the calculation how much is the time that you need to service all those clients for the activities that they have. Now let's do the same thing now for the distribution department. Since we have the production department, now let's see the distribution department. Again, distribution department starts first with the source available. What's the resource that we have available? Again, we're checking time. For the resource, here we have 3 drivers. One driver work part-time for 1.5 days per week. As with the production, each year we have 20 working days, time 12 per month for the whole year. Drivers work 8 hours, less 30 minutes break, so 7.5. And these guys have 15% idle time compared to the previous, which have only 10% idle time. That's the only difference. Now, again, this department distribution is divided by 2 processes. One process is driving. The other process is delivering. Now we have to find out what kind of activity we have under those 2 processes. First, the driving process including loading and driving activities. So there are 2 processes here. When the delivering process. The activities are delivering and locker sorting activities. I'm also writing myself those activities. I suggest you to write those activities so you know which one is what. So now what we're doing here is try to identify what's the resource that each of those activity using. Weight appeared to be the most appropriate time driver for the loading the truck. Interview with the driver suggests that it took average 5 seconds per kilogram to load the truck. So 5 seconds time the number of the garments under each category time the kilograms per each garment, and that's going to give you the time that you need to service this activity. Due to the Iceland geography, travel time to and from the customer were considerable. It took a total at least 1 hour per delivery to arrive at and return from the customer's location. Several customers were located particularly distant area, so driving took additional 75 minutes per delivery. So we have two measurements here for the normal customer and for customer far away. 1 hour and 75 minutes. So now we have to convert those hours into minutes to see what's happening there. So keep going with this, and then we're going delivery to, now we're going to the second process, which is delivering. Then the delivery, we have two activities delivering. Is the first activity to a customer lasted a minimum of 3 minutes. So we have here 3 minutes per customer. Time spent delivering the garment was predominantly related to the delivered weight. So this will be based on the weight. In addition to initial 3 minutes, on average 7 seconds per kilogram was needed. So we're going to have 3 minutes for the for the number of the deliveries plus 7 seconds per kilogram based on the number of pieces, based on the weight of the garment that they service. And the last activity is the locker sorting. If the customer requires locker sorting, driver spend 20 seconds per piece for sorting. Now these two guys, or you, can start the calculation for each customer. Again, objective is find the resources that you have under each of those departments, how much resource as a time you have for production, how much resource you have for the distribution, how much of the time that you have available you're actually using based on the clients that you have, the 8 clients that you have per client, and in total, compare the number, change the whole calculation, see what's going to happen. That's what you have to do at this point. That's where we're going to stop. And that's where I want you to be after you come back from the Christmas break. So basically, after the Christmas break, when we see each other, I want you to be in the position so you can have your calculation. Now, for the calculation, as I said to the other group, I'm going to say it to you. This is not the first time that I'm giving those case for the students. This is not the first time that I'm teaching this course, and it's not the second time that I'm teaching this course. It's not the third time that I'm teaching this course. What that means? That means that I'll tell you what happened previous semesters. You decide which way to go. In the previous semesters, doesn't matter how many times tell the students they to do the calculation by themselves. They're always using different resources from internet to have this calculation, which is fine, but it's very awkward when I come to the class, you come to the class and you show me calculation, which is not your calculation. The whole point is I want you to go to the calculation so you can understand the calculation. Usually the people who using the calculations which already posted somewhere on the internet on those websites, which are in huge help of you. No questions about it. What kind of help is that? I don't know, but let's say help. Um, After that, they cannot do anything after. So that's why I want you to do the calculation. You have available resources in terms of a starting point for this calculation. I already post you the Excel spreadsheet template. You can start using with that one. You have a guidance there. There's a little additional things that you have to do, but you can easily communicate with me. Ask me. I can help you with those ones. Now, that's the one thing. The other thing is. Uh, Obviously, if you decide to go the different direction and to use the Excel spreadsheets from somewhere else, um, again, fine. But I won't be able to answer any of your questions if you ask me where the numbers comes, and I won't be able to explain anything to you. And that means the only time that I can comment on your calculation will be after the submission of your case. That's what happened with that group. I just don't communicate with that group until they submit the assignments, and after that, I just park the case. At the end of the day, I cannot tell you what to do, what not to do. I'm just warning you not to do certain things. At the end of the day, don't forget those companies that are so huge help for you. Those are publicly listed company. Means that they're making profit from you. So who is the beneficial in the whole situation? Obviously, they're the beneficial. They just get your money and then they enjoy your money. I would suggest you save your money, use your brain, and after that enjoy the knowledge that you're gonna have. Rather than let the people enjoying your money and having fun with your money, rather than you having fun with your money. But again, I cannot tell you how to spend your money. That's the thing that I wanted to tell you. So now, at this point, so for the midterm, what I want you to do is, so the sources for the preparation will be the slides and will be the materials that I give you, those CPA parts that I give you. What I want you to have in mind on the midterm is that there will be questions for about the balance scorecard. There will be questions about the balance scorecard. There will be a question about the management control system. There will be question about transfer pricing. There will be question about investment centers. And there will be questions about the company organization, centralized, decentralized system. So you have balance scorecard, management control system, transfer pricing, decentralized, centralized system, company organization, and uh, performance measurement of the investment center. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. 5 things. Now, there will be calculations that you have to do. Calculation is going to be related to the return on investment on the residual income, and there will be calculation related to the transfer pricing as well. So I want you to get me what will be the minimum price or the maximum price, where is the room for negotiation, for what the transfer pricing is used. And don't forget the transfer pricing used for motivation of the people inside the company. That will be one thing. Balance scorecard, what's the perspective? Now you have more understanding balance scorecard after this exercise. There shouldn't be a problem with the balance scorecard, and it shouldn't be a problem for you to identify, based on the company, what's the strategy and which will be it's some perspective elements of the objective in the perspective if you have to identify those one. There will be multiple choice questions on the exam, and there will be normal questions like question that you have to do calculation, and then you have to make explanation. More think about the questions with the calculation, just not to you to be in the dark. I'm gonna post you a document. I'm gonna post you a document with similar questions, sample questions with the sample answers. It's gonna be closed books. There's no open books. Uh, no open books, no materials, no nothing. Just you, the exam paper, and your pencil or pen. For those exams, I strongly recommend you to use pen or pencil. It doesn't matter, but since it's going to be on the paper, I strongly suggest you do not erase anything. If you don't like something that you or you want to change something, cross it and write the new thing somewhere else. Why is that? Because sometimes in you crossing the right things or you erasing the right things, and then you're putting something which has nothing to do with the reality. For that reason, I strongly recommend you don't erase anything, just cross it and leave it the way it is. So at least I can find some marks to give you rather than not give you anything. Anything else? Anything else? Questions now for the midterm. How many questions will be? I'm aiming between 15 and 20 multiple choice questions and at least 4 or 5 big questions. But again, more I'm gonna send you once I make this file with the sample questions with the solutions. It will be posted for you by the end of this week, so you can have all next week for you to prepare. So you know what to expect on the exam. I don't want you to be in the dark. I don't want you to be in the position that you're going somewhere but you have no idea what's happening. I don't like to be in that position. I don't want you to put you in that position either. Where are the recording of the Zoom? Which folder? So the recording of the Zoom, I have to find probably I have to find some new file, new folder. I'm gonna post all the recordings in one place. So once I post those one, I'm gonna send you announcements with email directly to you.
Well, we have the whole class to finish it.
Yes. Do you want it?
Yes,
Okay, then you have it.
thank
If
you.
you want to stay till later, you can stay later till you finish. Totally fine with me. I have nothing to do anyway, so it's gonna be in the class. If you want to stay till 10, 11, I mean, security might say something, but I'll deal with the security. You don't have to worry about it. Time is not your problem. Why everybody asking on the 4 level courses? Why everybody asking, is this open book exam? On the 4 level courses, there shouldn't be open level exam, open books exam. In CPA, what you gonna expect on CPA? Open book exam. We're getting professional. Is it okay till 11? Yes, it's okay. If you want to stay till 12, it's okay to stay till 12. Totally fine with me. Just make sure you bring yourself food if you're planning to stay till 11. Water we have more than enough. Any other questions on the midterm? It's gonna be on paper, old-fashioned way. That means I have to mark after. But I'm gonna make questions very, how can I say, very clear. There will be try to avoid any confusion and anything like that, so just to be straightforward. So it can be easy for you to answer those questions. Any other questions on the midterm? I know it's something new for me for this course as well, but we have to adjust to the new reality. Okay, if you don't have any other questions, I'm gonna open the rooms again, and because I have three more groups to go over. Will be all the big questions are calculations. No, the big question is going to have calculation part and analytical part. I need you for the. I don't need you for the calculation. I need you for the analysis. At this level, I want you to start using your knowledge for the solving the problems, not just do the calculations. The same thing that we're talking here about the conclusion and the recommendation. I want to see if you can conclude and provide a recommendation because people want their problem solved. I want you to become a problem solvers, not create problem creators. Are you going to provide any formula for calculation? No formula for calculation. There is no formula for calculation. Why? Because on the transfer pricing, the only thing is you to know how to which one is it going to be the variable cost? Is it going to be the market price? And what's the market price? What's the variable cost? Do we have additional idle capacity? They have capacity to produce those extra for the transfer pricing. But even if you have the capacity, I already told you, the logical recommendation is don't do that. Don't kill your clients. And the return on the investment and the residual income, come on. You're calculating your return on investment every time when probably you're investing somewhere in the market or in anything. You already know how to calculate the return on investment. I don't have to tell you how to calculate the return on investment. And the residual income, it's easy to calculate. Get your required rate of return compared to what you get, and that's going to give you the residual income. Those things should be you as a 4-level students at this point, you have to play with those formulas. Very easy. But if I want to be fair, you know what? I'm gonna check what kind of formula they're giving for the advanced managerial accounting in CPA, because I'm doing those exams there. I'm gonna check what kind of formula they're providing there, and I'm gonna match the whatever they give you. Whatever they're giving the CPA givings to the students which taking advanced managerial accounting, exactly the same thing you're gonna have available on your exam. Let's make it fair for you. How about that?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Okay. Any other questions, people? Again, wait for me. I'm going to post you questions so you can prepare yourself. Right now, I want you to work on the calculations, get the calculation, and then you're going to have questions available so for your preparation. I'm trying to give you everything on the right moment, not to be too overwhelmed, and at the same time to have time for everything and not to be too stressed. I don't like to be stressed, so I don't want to stress my students either. Questions? How should we reach out if we have any questions later?
Mhm.
Uh, Email will be preferable. So you know my email. I'm monitoring my email. During the Christmas break, I won't be on Christmas. I'm not like a student, so I'll be available. So if you have questions, please address those questions right away, and I'll try to respond as fast as I can. Christmas, yes, Christmas. You guys gonna have Christmas. I'm gonna have something else.
Will the stuff on the midterm be on the final exam as well, or is
No,
it? new stuff
No,
on
no,
them.
no, 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 no.
Okay.
Final exam is gonna be different story. Let's pass the midterm first and then think of the final exam. One after another, please. We have a lot of things to do before the final exam. That will be somewhere mid April. Actually, not after mid April. I don't know if you see the schedule. I mean, probably it's not posted yet, but probably that will be after mid April. Okay, guys. I'm gonna open again the rooms. I'm kind of rushing to get the other three groups feedback because they deserve it at the end. And let me rename here group 6. And okay, the rooms are open. So if you want to go in the room to finish your calculation and discussions, go for it. If you feel that you're done for today, you can easily go. The groups that I have to finish is group 3, 2, 3, and 5. No, good. Yeah, 2, 3, and 5. Yes. So I'm coming to those groups in a few minutes. Sure.
Hi, Ivan, I have a question.